I know it's a bit of a challenge. Someday, when someone watches these in order, um, it'll be a little funny that I'm now in my fourth different check-in, third different hotel. The story is the Venetian was a little lame for us, and for reasons that I'm not going to get into, we decided to come to Cosmopolitan, and so we just left Venetian. So a couple nights there, great time, and honestly, we will go back and we'll. Do a little more there, but we decided to come back to Cosmopolitan. This is where, if you track this trip, I started when the conference was going on, and we really do enjoy this part of the strip, but we maximized it over there. We really checked everything out, and I can't even remember what I shared yesterday about it, but today it was all about supporting our son and checking out apartments because he's intending to move out here with his girlfriend. And I touched on that, I believe, in previous videos. He's a DJ, so this city really, really works for him, and he's going to do quite well. He's been a DJ in DC for a long time, and he's seen it and done it and played all the best clubs. And this would be a whole new territory for him. He's got good contacts, and so we're helping him and her find a place. And so we looked at 6 different apartments, and it brought back a lot of memories for me and a lot of reflection because this is where I started out really my adult life. And it was right after college that I moved out here. Touched on that in a super early video. Graduated in Buffalo, hated the winter weather that was prominent there, and just headed to Vegas for a lot of reasons. I wanted to be close to the West Coast. I had tried LA briefly during college, and Vegas was going to get me as close as possible to that. I can talk 5 videos about those days in Vegas and how important they were for my growth as a man, and just how it just established what is, my existence today. And to enjoy it with my wife of 25 years and just and look at those apartments and just reminisce a little bit about when we were looking at apartments. Now, we didn't live together here. We met in Colorado and Denver. But when we were looking at apartments in Denver, it was a really critical, important time for us, like it's very exciting, and to think about and envision your life in that apartment. And so, of course, it was weird that we were doing that for them, but we were here and we were going to save them that effort and narrow down some choices for them. So it was a lot of fun and pretty productive in that regard. But it really got me thinking about how important this place was to me and how I had the confidence and guts to come out here. I moved out here literally by myself. I drove cross country. I had this Toyota 4Runner with all the stuff that I could fit in it. And I had no contacts here and no job and just an idea. And that idea was to make it and live and grow and challenge myself. And I was very successful. And I did move away from it, but it was only because I had met someone and we had decided that this lifestyle wasn't exactly what we were looking for at the time. If not for that, I dare say I would have stayed quite a while because I was growing in this space. I really love the hospitality industry. I don't work in the hospitality industry now, but at the time in my 20s, it just really, really worked for me. And I fought it for a while. Like, I wanted to stay in it in some managerial capacity. I was even in my earliest college days thinking about taking hospitality as a course, in my coursework. My parents smartly advised me to just focus in a more broad way so that I can be flexible. But it's just something about this industry and something about places that are committed to tourism and hospitality that really fire me up. So it was great to think back at my early days and how I was able to be successful and the moves I made and the apartments I was willing to live in and the people that I met and the relationships that I built and how that developed into this and how I had the confidence and with no help. And I know I'm saying "and" a lot, which is part of this learning, there was no help. And I'm not criticizing the folks, my parents and others. It wasn't expected that I would get that help. But I just went for it. The results were were okay. The risks were significant, and the fact that we're able to support them though appropriately and position them is really valuable. It's hard not to say "and" a lot, but what a run of them just now. I'm going to try to word my sentences differently to avoid the frequency of that. This is hard, and we've talked about that a lot. The ability to pull this off, especially live, is going to be a lot of fun. It's late at night, not super late. We just got back. We checked into the Cosmo. We're going to go get some food and enjoy the evening. Nothing too crazy. We were smart last night and came in knowing we had a full day today and got some sleep early. We're not going to do that tonight, but we're not going to push it too hard. We're going to check out a couple of the places that I love here that she hasn't been able to check out. There's one thing, it's a speakeasy, and it's a secret. Of course, it's a secret door. And I'm not even going to tell you where it is. There's a few of them here, and we're going to explore one that I've not taken her to. We're going to go back to a Jose Andres taco place that honestly I eat at multiple times when I'm here. She loves it too. Birria tacos, so good. There's a cocktail there that just is top notch. There's a view. It's probably not worth trying to show the view. I'm going to attempt to shoot it on my phone and capture it. We're on the 39th floor at Cosmo. The view we have includes everything on the Strip, including the Bellagio fountains. Perfect view of that. The Sphere is right there. And I also have a view of the Rio, which is an old school property that was the place to be when I was here as a 23-year-old. And to see it and know that it's just not what it once was. It's not a place to even go to right now. They're planning on refurbishing it, but it's so far from what it once was. But at the time I was here, it was so quintessential. It was the first place where clubs were a thing. And just to see people going out to clubs, like it was like a brand new thing to us. And it was perfect time. I didn't have the money or the honestly social skills at that time to be like clubbing it. Like I was just like figuring out my life in Vegas as a worker, and the club world wasn't really our thing. We definitely went out a lot, but we weren't club people. We did our fair share of going out to different lounges and stuff, but the club scene was like kind of like this other thing. And then it took off from there. All the other clubs after Rio led the way. The club at Rio led the way. I think it was also just called the club at Rio. So to see that really brought back memories. And the title on the thumbnail is because Venetian is one of the places that my wife and I visited in our earliest Vegas visits. And we're talking literally 24, 25 years ago. I think our first visit to Vegas together was 24 years ago. Yeah. So it was the New Year's Eve going into 2001, I believe. May have been the first time together in Vegas, and Venetian was a part of that visit. And then we've since gone to Venice multiple times, twice. And now to be back in Venetian, I just thought that thumbnail really worked for today. 25 years together, and it started at Venetian, and we've enjoyed Venice, and we're back at Venetian again. So what a couple days. I'm going to sign off. We're keeping this live thing going. Literally no one is watching. I do it at different times. It's not going to work like this. It has to be consistent. I have to set up the theme. I have to get a proper plan. I will get all that together at some point. I promise. Checking out.